Welcome to Let's Make Waves podcast. I'm Rana Al-Basri Mawad, and I believe that we're all here to make waves. I created this podcast to help you unlock your potential by sharing with you tools, resources, and strategies to help you build and grow your business. So if you're looking to build your brand, gain that confidence and knowledge, content and marketing strategies, find your professional voice, attract those raving customers, and create the professional authority for better business opportunities, then you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome to another edition of my podcast. As always, I'm so happy that you're joining me today. You know, as we speak, we are back to lockdown here in Canada. So my twins are back to online school. Not the greatest thing because it just puts another challenge for us as parents to work from home and also support the kids with online education. I had to readjust some of my plans and my schedule so I can work on both, on both of them without affecting, one thing or another, my work versus my family. It's a tough balance, honestly, but that's what we entrepreneurs do, right? We work it out, find a way, reschedule, move things around, whatever it takes to get to do what we love the most, which is work, and also what we care about the most, which is our family. So this is one of those main reasons that I wanted to create a business on my own so that I can get to choose how my day looks like. Now, it currently looks hectic, but hey, we're working it out and it's hard to do, but just need to give ourselves some grace. Anyhow, back to the topic of this episode, which I wanted to talk to you today about one of the pillars of our businesses, and that is the client or the customer. When we all took the decision of creating our business, that decision came because we found that there is a need for something that we have to share. We either created something or have the expertise that can help our clients get over an issue that they face, or teach them something that they want to learn. The sustainability and the growth of our business depends on us catering to those clients that we have, and also by building new connections with potential clients. So here comes, the question that we all ask ourselves numerous times and all the time: how to find customers online. So whether you're just starting out or you're a few years in, this question will always come up if you haven't found certain routes that have proven successful in connecting with new customers every day. And in this digital world, there are always new ways that come up and new places to find your target audience. So this exercise will always evolve, but the basics will stay the same. Then, as the new platforms are born and new behaviors are shifting, we as business owners will do whatever is necessary to shift and to continue to find our audience and potential customers online. It is very important to keep in mind the mission and the offer that we have at hand when we are working on building our business and finding ways to connect with potential audience who can be interested in our service and become our clients. So converting someone who doesn't know you to a follower and from there to a customer is a challenging task because it means you need to connect with this person directly. Your strategy has to include one-on-one connection and conversations, as well as making sure that your messaging and content is very specific so that these audience can relate to it and they can feel like as if you're talking to them because you've touched on a topic that is a challenge for them. So, in today's episode, I'd like to share with you different ways to finding customers online. Now, there are so many tactics out there, but what I will share with you today is something that either worked for me or one of my clients. But first things first, let's do some home cleaning, as they call. For you to start looking for your customers online, you should be clear on your target customer avatar. So you're clear on who is your target customer profile. You've already done that exercise. You know them well. You know who are your specific audience. Where are they mostly online? What kind of social platforms they consume? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? Any pain points or any needs? and most importantly, what brings value to them, all that good stuff. And in the case that you are still not really sure how to identify your target audience or target customer, just go back to episode 1 of my podcast. That will help you a lot because I take you through all the details of how to identify your target audience. Listen to that episode first and then come back here for all the tips. Let's dive in. So there are 2 strategies to finding customers online. There is the organic route and there's the paid route. So I highly encourage you as a business owner that you don't rely heavily or exclusively on paid strategies. Finding and connecting with your customers online is very powerful. So yes, granted that the organic way is slower in pace, but it is much more powerful because you get to connect firsthand with them and they get to see you and experience your connection, which will make them feel much stronger towards you and towards your business. So the organic connection is much more powerful, and honestly, it builds the know, like, and trust factor much faster and much stronger than the paid strategies. So my advice is to have a plan where there is a balance between like a mix between the organic approach and the paid one. Of course, keeping in mind your marketing budget and what's suitable for you. And before I forget, these strategies that I'm about to list will also help you build your personal brand and your business brand, as well as find your clients online. So these 2 work hand in hand, which is an additional proof of the importance of building your brand to basically build your business. I'll also want to say that what I'm about to share are different tactics. You don't have to use all of them. Pick the ones that work for you and the ones that work for your business and where your potential customer can be found or is using, these platforms. So you can connect with them easily. So one might work for you, one might not work for you as a business owner or for your business. So you use your judgment here. All right? So let's start with the organic way of finding and connecting with customers. And the first one is Facebook groups. Now, this is one of the best places to find customers because so many people become part of groups to connect with like-minded people so they can solve a pain point or a problem that they face, or they can learn something from others who have gone before them. So inside these Facebook groups, people engage with each other for a common target, which is, as I said, finding a solution to a problem or to share expertise, and most importantly, for community support. I encourage you to look at groups from your potential client's shoes, not from your own behavior and consumption on Facebook. I'm saying this because I do hear feedback like, I barely open Facebook, or who really uses Facebook? And for that question, my answer is that Facebook groups have a different behavior than Facebook profile. People might not update their profile for ages, but that doesn't mean they don't connect with communities on Facebook groups. So please keep that in mind. It is really important, as I said earlier, that you look at each tactic and study it individually to see what works for you and for your business, So for Facebook groups, search for the groups that you'll know your potential client will be interested to be part of it. So, for example, if you're a business coach, you can join entrepreneur groups or groups for small business owners. You will be connecting with people who are your target audience or potential customers who will be interested in working with a business coach like yourself, if that will get them closer to their business targets. Inside those groups, your aim is to connect and share knowledge, not just participate to sell, because if people don't know you, that will turn them off. So share knowledge, solve problems, answer questions, and soon enough, you will stand out and get noticed. People will start asking about you and will want to connect with you outside of those groups. The second is industry online publications. So following industry-related online magazines, for example, or newspapers is another way of connecting and finding customers online. people who usually follow and read business publications, for example, or marketing publications, are either industry peers who want to keep up with the latest updates on the industry and the latest news, or they are business owners who read articles and reports that can teach them something about, business or about marketing, something that is new and that can help them in their business, or that could maybe solve a problem they are facing within their business. By connecting with these people in the comments section, participating in discussions, this gets you a step closer to connecting with peers within your industry, so you can collaborate and work together. And it also connects you with people who are potential customers, who might be interested in the services you and your business is offering. The third is creating a challenge. Now, recently, challenges have been taking a lot of traction and has been proving very successful for coaches or entrepreneurs on social media. If a challenge is built and executed properly, and it is created based on a need that is obviously very interested to your target audience, it can be a great way to connect with your current customers and attract new customers. So you build your email list and you add to your business brand. It's a great initiative. So a challenge is also a platform that gives you the chance to share your expertise, your style of teaching, or your coaching with the potential customers. They get to see you, they get to experience your style, your vibe of work, your way of communication. And if they have a positive experience and a positive result at the end of that challenge, then what they will do is that this will get them a step closer to connect with you, and maybe working with you becomes a high probability. The fourth is lead magnet. Now, a lead magnet or a freebie is something that you create to solve a particular problem, or that you can create so that you can share specific tips that can enhance your customer's life or their business. Now, this freebie could be a guide, it could be a checklist, an ebook, a video series, or an audio series that your audience can download, use, and benefit from it. By understanding what your audience really need, what issues they really face, and what topics they need to understand or to learn, and you give it to them for free, you are building that trust connection that is so strong and very powerful. But make sure that once your freebie is ready, share it on all the platforms that you usually use with your audience, and at any chance, such as, for example, during interviews or within groups that you're connecting. The fifth is interviews or guest writing. Now, another way to connect with customers online is by connecting with an industry peer or another business owner whose business is complementary to yours, and you collaborate together by either appearing on their blog or their podcast or maybe video channel for an interview. Now, the topic is something that you both have to agree on, and that it should be interesting and beneficial for their audience as well as yours. So the same concept can be done with guest writing, which is like writing an article or a report or even a blog post that can get featured in somebody else's blog or in an online magazine or a newspaper. Now, this tactic puts you in front of audience that are new to you, that you do not currently have. It gives you a platform to introduce yourself, to introduce your expertise, and of course your business. For this tactic to be completely effective, just make sure that the platforms used are aligned with you and with your business mission. Make sure that their audience are truly potential customers and that fit your business offer. And also make sure that the topics shared will enhance your personal and your brand business. Now, this kind of collaboration should be very specific and is more about quality than quantity. The sixth is your website. Now, I am not an expert in SEO, so I'm not gonna say that I am, but I know that website optimization is very, very important. So, if we Google it, this is the definition of SEO. So SEO consists of multiple techniques or strategies that aim to improve your position, your website position in the search engines so that it will start to appear at the top of the search list. In today's website platforms where you can build your website, such as WordPress, Wix, Kajabi, and all the other ones, there are so many SEO plugins that you can connect to your website and optimize it. Now, this is a great tool if you've just started out or you're on a tight budget, so you cannot use an expert to help you with it. So this is something that you can use yourself, and you can put these plugins on your website in the back end. And there are so many experts out there that can, they share tips and strategies online for you to use as a guide to optimize your website. My personal favorite is Neil Patel. I'll link to his website in the show notes if you want to check him out. So your website is another platform that can help you find customers online, as long as you can optimize it and make it appear at the top of the search list so that the potential audience can find you easily and, of course, connect with you. The seventh is free offers. Now, this tactic works with all kinds of businesses, but it is particularly interesting for service-based businesses. So free offers for a product-based business is like free samples that could go along with the purchase. But I like it as a tactic for service-based businesses like coaches, consultants, freelancers, because you can offer something that is so valuable, such as your time. So for coaches or consultants, the base of their business is built and depends on them and their expertise. And that's a very high commodity. So by giving offers like a free 30-minute consultation call, for example, that could be an effective way to attract customers online and to connect with you. So this attracts customers who do not yet know you very well, so they can take you on that offer, and it gives you a chance to connect firsthand with those clients who could be perfect and who could be ready to buy into your business offer. But I would give you one tip so that your time is used wisely. Make sure that you have a very clear criteria listed to whoever is eligible for this free consultation or this free offer. And that could be done by having an online application form that should be filled, where you can, go through it and have a better idea of who is interested in, who's interesting for you to connect with and who isn't. But just make sure that you handle this with care, as they say, because you don't want to offend anybody who does not qualify for this free offer. The eighth is partnerships. Now, partnering with industry peers or with professionals who have complementary businesses to yours is a great way to put yourself in front of audience that you do not have and who are potential customers online. So there are many, many types of partnerships. They could be interviews, guest writing, just like what I've mentioned before, or it could be other types of partnerships like affiliate marketing, for example. Other ideas for partnerships could be a joint offer that you can have with a partner, and this joint offer could be like a package service or a package of product and service, and that could be offered to your audience and as well as to theirs. So it could also be something like a business referral agreement. There's so many different types of partnerships. Just choose the one that is suitable for you and for your business. And as I said, because there are so many, this tactic comes with a caveat. For it to be powerful and effective to your business and helps you attract customers online, you should be very, very strategic about the partner that you choose. Your partner should have the right audience, and their personal or business brand should not overshadow yours or yours to theirs. So this is the trick with partnerships. If you partner with someone who has a stronger brand than yours, you can either benefit from that, or it could dilute or overshadow your brand in the process. So my advice is to be very, very mindful of your business image when you use this tactic, and when you're in the middle of the process of identifying who do you want to partner with for a special offer. Okay, so these were the organic ways to finding customers online. Now, these suggestions are long term and their pace is slower than paid tactics. However, as I've mentioned, they are much more powerful because it puts you and your business in the forefront with direct connection with your audience. So, they are also very effective in building your brand, and it is it has a positive impact on your personal brand or your business brand. Now, let's move on, and it's time to list the paid ways to finding and connecting with your customers online. And just a quick note here, the tactics that I will mention here will put you in front of an audience who are potential customers online, but who might not know about you yet, or they are not aware of your expertise or your business offer. So the purpose of these tactics is to find potential customers online and attract them to come on board and start getting to know about your business, and slowly warm up to what you have to share and what you have to offer until they are ready to buy. So the paid strategy is a quick way to find potential customers online, but moving them along the spectrum of potential to actual customers depends on your content strategy, your business offer, your pricing, your style of teaching or coaching if you are a coach, and other factors. So just wanted to share that so you keep it in mind as I'm going through the different tactics for you. And the first one is advertising. Now, advertising on social media or other types of advertising like Google Ads, it's a fast way to connect and find customers online. The aim of this tactic is to identify where do they spend their time online, on which platforms, and then choose the right message to advertise and put it out there in front of them. And the aim also is to make it really interesting and compelling for them to click on that ad and to bring them over to your social media profile or to your website, or maybe have them read your blog or watch your video or listen to your podcast. Now, advertising strategy is multi-layered, and I won't be able to cover all of it here, but I want to leave you with some important tips. So make sure that you play around with different types of advertising goals and see what works for you and what works for your business better. I also think that you should implement A/B testing with your ads, so you can see which ad performs better than the other, and this way you can move your budgets accordingly. And I also advise you to think about the platforms that your audience are using and not what you personally use. So let's say if your audience consume Pinterest, but you personally don't, go with what your audience is using. And that should not stop you from advertising on Pinterest. The second is sponsorships. Now, sponsorships, if it's done right with the right events, such as like a successful conference or an industry event, it can be a very good approach to stand out in front of a new audience online. Unfortunately, this is a costly tactic and is not something that I recommend to do when you've just started out or when you're relatively new. Sponsorships also come in different forms. So whenever you are ready and whenever your business is ready and it is suitable for you, think about different ways to be part of an event that you like, and that you can find your customers online. So don't be afraid to be creative in your sponsorship ideas, and communicating your creative approach with the organizers of that event can be a great way to gauge whether your approach is interesting and interesting to be used and to move forward. So don't be afraid of sponsorships when you're ready and your business is also ready to use it as a paid tactic. The third is to use advertising for some of the organic tactics that I've already mentioned before. And here I am specifically talking about using advertising for a lead magnet, a competition, or a challenge. So these are tactics that you can create and execute and attract customers online organically, and you can also advertise them and attract cold audience who do not know you yet for them to get to know you and take part in something that you offer to warm up to you. Now, this particular advertising tactic is my favorite because it builds on something that you offer as an example or as an experience to working with you. It is a great way to build your brand, to build your email list, and to get you to connect and find customers online. You're also not adding more work to your plate. You're already building that competition or that challenge. So if you're doing, let's say, a quiz as a lead magnet, then you're already doing the work. The work is done. So you're just using that approach organically and also advertising it, to get more bandwidth. So there you have it, organic and paid ways to find customers online. As I said, there are so many ways out there, and what I've shared with you are things that I've either used myself or my clients. So I hope that you can find the ones which are suitable for you and for your business. Now, I know this episode was a little bit heavy, but I wanted to share with you actionable strategies that you can put into effect right away and start attracting your customers, online. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. As always, if you want to share your views on this topic, let's start a discussion in the comment section of my show notes. You'll find me on ranamawad.com/13. That's the number 13. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast. And if you'd like to leave a review, I'd love that very much. And let's connect on Instagram. My handle is @rana.mawad. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to touch base with you again next week. So till then, have a great week and take care.